So run for New York mayor. Here we go. This is it. This is it indeed. Let's go ahead and play this video in a 3, 2, 1.
Tonight, Cuomo losing his edge. The former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, his family name, of course, is synonymous with the Democratic Party, on the campaign trail today, now fighting for every vote, days before New York City's mayoral primary election. Now, this race is New York, but it is at the heart of the fight for the Democratic Party's future for the entire country. And Cuomo was widely expected to win by a landslide, which is why this is news. And now in the final days of campaigning, 33-year-old Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani is gaining steam. Mary Anton is here to tell us something we don't know. So first, how much is Cuomo's lead shrinking in these final days?
I mean, look, it's down to just 10 points in the latest Marist College poll. You go back a month ago, the lead was double that. Mamdani has closed that gap by half. Cuomo up by 10 now. You can go back 3-4 months ago. Cuomo was up by like 25, 30 points. Now it's down to just 10. And last time around, the poll error was wide enough that Mamdani could still win this race.
All right. So Cuomo obviously is a household name in New York and around the country. Mamdani was relatively unknown. And I think to many people watching the show tonight, it's probably the first time they've ever heard his name. Who are his biggest supporters?
Yeah, who are his biggest supporters? Let's take a look by race. First of all, what's going on there? Well, you see that Andrew Cuomo is winning because look at that lead among black voters, 54 points. But look among white voters, Mamdani is ahead by 8, very reminiscent of the gap that we saw back in the 2020 primary between Sanders and Joe Biden. How about by age? Similar story here. Take a look here. Under the age of 45, Mamdani ahead by 48 points, but Cuomo is winning. Why? Because of voters age 45 and older. Cuomo plus 38 points. The reason Mamdani is closed the gap is because he's really energized those on the left and really energized young voters. But whether that'll be enough, we'll have to wait and see.
All right, you've already told me and people things that we don't know. But tell me something else I don't know.
I will tell you something else that you don't know, Erin Burnett. I think Andrew Cuomo, there are a lot of people thinking, hey, this could be a leaping off pad, right, to run for president. But historically speaking, being mayor anywhere is not a good launch pad for presidency. There have, in fact, only been 3 mayors who have gone on to be president of the United States. Andrew Johnson, Grover Cleveland from Buffalo, and, of course, Calvin Coolidge from Northampton, Massachusetts. So being mayor of New York, it's a powerful position, but the idea that you can become president, just ask Mike Bloomberg, Bill de Blasio, Rudy Giuliani. It don't work.
Okay, that is a great point. I love how you said, and Calvin Coolidge, of course, of
Northampton.
Okay, so look, here are my thoughts on the New York run for mayor. I think it's a fascinating subject to witness. I think it's a fascinating thing to see firsthand. But you know, I have to agree with Due Dissidents and Russell on this one. My colleagues, you know, at the end of the day, Cuomo's colleague and challenger is a Democrat, and I'm not expecting much from Democrats. Just like how Brandon Johnson ran on a progressive campaign. Yeah. I mean, you know, this reminds me of that too. And if you're in the Democrat Party, especially in a major metropolitan city like New York City, and I know there's differences between New York and Chicago, but if the Democrat machine is there, you got to play ball with the Democrat machine there. Now, Cuomo, I think maybe New York City, which fantastic. You're waking up and realizing, oh yeah, Cuomo was governor during COVID. Oh yeah, what happened to the senior citizens? Oh yeah, his scandals. Oh my God. What?
Yeah, sexual harassment allegations. How is he even allowed back in to come take a demotion as the New York City mayor? I don't even get it.
Name, power, influence. I mean, come on. It's very similar to Chicago. I mean, Nick, you live in the city, you know. Jimmy Dore knows. I mean, everybody. Yeah. When Jimmy comes back from his European tour, by the way, I hope you're doing well, Jimmy. When he comes back from his European tour, people should ask Jimmy about Chicago. He was there at the high point. He was living in the city at the high point of its corruption, as was my grandfather. My great-grandfather, born and raised in the city. My grandfather, born and raised in the city. My Mama Cabello, love her to death, born and raised in this city. Yours truly, Kid Adrian Cabello the first, born and raised in this city. And let me tell you something. The Democrat machine, oh, it's not like what you see in Washington, D.C. The Democrat machine is a brutal machine. And no, my libertarian and conservative friends, it's not a communist machine where everyone's working good. It's a corporatist neoliberal nightmare. Please stop calling it communist. I get it's an easy word, but it's sort of like when you have anti-Trumpers calling Trump supporters fascists and Nazis. Like they're using the meaning of the word, okay? Chicago is a different ballpark. But going back to New York City, I think it's fascinating that Cuomo's now losing his lead. And now I'm wondering, maybe he doesn't have it in the bag. Because I spoke with Larry Sharp about this, and he was like, no, Cuomo might have this, but now I don't know.
Not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Nick, I'll give you your final thoughts.
Well, again, I don't even know how he's allowed to. I mean, I know he's allowed to run, but I mean, how people are even supporting him after COVID, let alone the sexual harassment allegations and all of the other scandals with him. But I think that what this race is showing is that there is a hunger for change and hunger for progressive policy. Let's not even say candidates, because we all know what tends to happen to those candidates. But I think it's just showing that there is a brewing within cities like New York, and what happened with Chicago a couple of years ago too. And I think what we're even going to start seeing in many of these other larger cities, and maybe even in some other maybe liberal or even conservative leaning cities, is this this undercurrent of unrest, because our lives are not getting better. Our lives are getting worse. And the same old is starting to look more and more like the same old. And I think that people are getting sick and tired of it. I think voting ourselves out of the problems that we're in is a challenge and probably a fool's errand. But I think that it's showing the feelings of people that want these progressive policies implemented into their everyday lives. People want healthcare. People want living wages. People want rent that they can afford and houses that they can afford to buy. And we're just seeing more and more of the, quote, American dream slip further and further away and be more and more unattainable. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing in these races. And even with Brandon Johnson a couple of years ago here in Chicago, who I worked on his, campaign, and I met him and I went to his event. Like, I honestly think he came in with the best intentions, and the machine just, beats these guys down when they do get in. So I think what we're seeing is that the public is wanting change. The public is demanding more from our politicians, but I don't know that voting ourselves out of this is going to be lead to prosperity. I think we're going to have to do more than just vote. I agree 100%. So, it is what it is. And I would also add on here to everybody that's watching, just keep your heads on a swivel and be careful out there. And I would encourage everybody that's watching the show, just, when it comes down to politics, don't give loyalty to a politician. You don't owe them a damn thing. And that's why we have to push back. That's why we have to fight back. And, just vote third party, vote independent. But by the way, side note, Eric Adams and Cuomo will potentially run as third party independents in the general, because this is the primary we're talking about. So just because the primary might go differently doesn't mean that's goodbye Cuomo or Eric Adams. They're already running as third party. So one more stain to the third party name. There you go.